All right, well, welcome back to the channel. My name is Kevin, your host. This is now Conversations with the Crawleys, where we have conversations about different things that we find interesting, relationships, family, all of those things. And it's all designed to help you do the same thing we've always been doing, help you live better, love better, and be better.
Be better.
This video is all about Married at First Sight, the latest episode, recap, reaction, and review. So make sure you're hitting that subscribe button. Make sure you're hitting the like button and getting the notifications, because every time we go live with this show or any other show that we do, we want you to join in with us. Hit the comments up. Let us know what you think, your thoughts on what we're talking about. All right?
Yep.
All right, let's jump into it. Married at First Sight. Let's start it with the easy one that really had nothing going on this week other than the fact that the another nail has been put in the coffin. So we're going to talk about Chris and Paige.
Yeah, Chris and Paige. So I'm assuming there was a text saying that he's getting back with
Mercedes.
With Mercedes.
Who he bought a Mercedes for.
Who he bought a Mercedes for, and he wanted a divorce.
Right.
All right.
Cool.
Deuces.
Don't need to waste our time anymore.
I'm just glad that Paige seems to be understanding where she is.
Mm-hmm.
She understands maybe what pressures she put on herself.
Right.
You know, maybe God wanted an apology, but she didn't go that far.
Yeah, because she put a lot on God. God's like, I had nothing to do with that.
It had nothing to do with it. But she understands that, you know, the desire to want to be married shouldn't overshadow being mistreated.
And common sense.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that I feel like she's maybe in her processes of healing.
Yes.
She indicated that she has 2 therapists.
And might need a third one after this.
Hey, or maybe an extra hour.
Right. More hours. Right.
So at least she's on her way to self-care. She's getting the help she needs, you know, and being able to journey on in her life. Mm-hmm. I feel like I hate for that she had to be on the show for potentially her maybe finding someone. Right. Who may have saw the show or not, you know, but hopefully that person that is meant for her will be coming around the corner.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I mean, we finally see her support system, her brother.
Right.
And sister-in-law. So we see that. So, because that was one of the concerns that we had was that there seemed to be no support system. Because I don't know if you all have noticed, but it seems like this season, the counselors are like nowhere to be found. They're in like the clip and you hear their voice, but they're not interacting with these couples. They're not interacting.
The producers may be informing them,
right?
But they're not taping that they're having interactions with the couples.
We're not seeing it like we've seen it before.
No, because it's like Briana and
Briana is the therapist, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But Briana needs another check for this show.
Yeah, because they're like doing double duty.
Yeah.
They're trying to work through their stuff, and then they're asking questions.
Everybody else.
And counseling everybody else. I was like, y'all need to put something else in the pay.
Yes. And so then Chris also met with his mother.
Yes.
And one of the things that was interesting that his mother was like, I'm not surprised.
Right. She was just like, I'm not surprised. You know, that's all you can do, right? He's a grown man.
He's a grown behind man.
And obviously, he says that he respects his mother's opinion, but then we don't see him calling his mother through on everything else. And he says that, you know, he's confused, but he's supposedly getting back with, you know.
With Mercedes.
So what else can a mother say? Like, oh, okay, that sounds good. Because he didn't ask for advice. Right. He was telling her what he did. Mm-hmm. And only thing she can do is continue to love her son and hope he figures out.
Yep.
So she's a praying woman. I'm assuming she's going to just keep him in prayer.
Yes.
Bless her heart.
So, yeah, that's pretty much it for them. We don't see too much for them, and I don't expect a whole lot from them.
No.
Next week, of course, we see that they do at least looks like meet with Pastor Cal and Dr. I forgot her name, Dr. Pepper. Mm-hmm. So we'll see what happens there, but we've written them off as a couple. There's no redeeming as far as them being successful, right?
She's finally cut the cord.
Yes, finally. All right, and then Jacob and Haley, they are.
Yeah.
I think they're working on a friendship, or at least trying to make the most of these last few weeks, because I think Jake is just like, I'm done.
I'm done. I would be if I was Jake. And they are. They're different people.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't get a sense of humor.
Right.
She wants to do things her way. There doesn't seem any compromise. I just want to have fun. Why are we always having... Well, because when you want to be in a relationship, you're going to have tension if you're trying to get to know this someone. You have to make a decision in a couple weeks.
Right.
So let's go ahead and get it all out so we can see, do you like the whole conversation? I'm sorry to bang. Do you like me? This is the whole conversation.
Right.
Are you attracted to me?
Right.
If you're not, just say it. That's all the man is asking for.
Right.
He's like, I done moved on from Pumpkin Lady. I done moved on from a lot of strange relationships.
I am curious about the story about the pumpkin.
I would love
girl.
to hear
I want to know. So, Jake, if you're watching or if you check this out, you got to share the story about the pumpkin lady because I want to know what that's about.
Pumpkin Lady.
All right. But we do see them go on a double date with Briana and Vincent.
Yes.
And they like really take on the role of therapists and are like, they even, they first meet with, Briana meets with Haley and then Vinny meets with Jake. And then they swap. And they try and, help push the relationship along.
Yeah, push the relationship forward. I'm like, did y'all get paid for this? Y'all supposed to be double dating and having fun.
Right.
Why I got to pry into somebody else's relationship? See, it's like, I'm sorry. It feels like for Black people, like, okay, you're going to put us in the role of being able to help all these other people. Just because our relationship going well, then you're going to utilize us free of charge while I'm trying to figure out what's going on with me.
Right.
So, no, thank you.
Yeah.
Don't need it. So don't want it.
So, yeah, I mean, again, with Jake and Haley, I think that they're another couple that we can look at and say, you know what? I think they will at least be cordial with each other, but I don't see anything popping off as far as romance or a major turnaround in their relationship where all of a sudden they are wanting to continue on.
Correct.
Okay. And then who else do we have? So let's Briana and Vincent, who...
Yeah, they seem to be doing really well.
They're doing good.
He wants to work on his health, and she's there, and they're having fun. They're trying to be combative, riding bikes, just really taking in. So nothing really major this week or in the couple of days that we saw filmed.
Right. Yeah.
So good for them.
I mean, they're still on track, in my opinion, to move forward.
Right.
After this whole experiment is over, to actually move forward as a couple. Right. There is something that comes up in the trailer for next week that. Again, we're only catching a clip.
Right, they're only giving a clip of it.
So Briana seems to have this apprehension about giving birth.
Right.
Don't know fully what that is. Right. If she's saying that she's not wanting to have kids, period. Or it's a fear that she's got to realize she needs to get over. Right. So we don't know. But we don't know. I mean, for me, if that's the biggest drama that comes out of this couple, I think that they've got enough right now that they can figure out how to maneuver past that.
Well, and they have to realize they're not dating.
Right. That's true.
They have to realize we're not dating. We're married.
Right.
And we have to come to a conclusion. Do we want to stay married after this? So they should have been talking about kids.
Right.
Like, hey, how soon do you want to have kids? How many kids you want to have? I know when you're dating, you take your time, right? Because you want to get to know the person.
Right.
How far along, how serious we are, blah, blah, blah. But if they're in the feeling like they're dating and not married, then they're not talking about real serious that could cause me to say, I don't want to be married to you anymore.
And technically, this is something that should have come up in the vetting process. And it sounds like because Dr. Pepper is like, did you talk to him? We got to talk to him about this. It's possible that they know and have just been waiting for them to have the conversation. Because it's very possible. It's possible, again, we're speculating. It's possible that Briana does want to have kids.
Right.
Because Vinny has made it very clear.
He wanted to have family.
He wants a family. So that's one of his motivating factors. So that would not make sense to put him with someone who says that they don't want to have kids.
Definitely.
So it sounds like there's a fear, a phobia, if you will.
And then we had to figure out why, right? So definitely background to someone she died.
Right.
Is she adopted and her mom died a child? It's like you don't know what's brought this on. She seems to be very level-headed, so it doesn't make sense that I don't know.
So we'll see. We'll watch in the next week for that. All right, and then Ryan and Clara.
I have a problem with Ryan.
I got a problem with questions Clara. About Ryan. So
I don't understand why
Claire. So let's start this.
Okay,
so
you start.
they do at least. Clara is still making the attempts to try him, pull him in. So they do tantra yoga, right? So if you watch it, they are doing, they're doing poses, they're doing, they're in different positions that are designed to bring closeness and without being sexual. There is divine intimacy without being sex, right? But it's designed to try and mirror some of those things and pull those things, right?
Yes.
And so
great idea.
Yeah, she's in it. He's like a little kid, and this is one of my things about him. I think you asked the question, and I think I sense a little childishness in him. There's some things about him that just strike me as really immature. Part of it is the way that he dresses sometimes with the hat to the back and the oversized clothes and whatever. It looks like he's he reminds me of like almost Macaulay Culkin in Home Alone. He seems like he's just very childish, in my opinion, or immature. And then even his approach to things and how he talks, I get that there's some immature, at least that's what it comes off to me. I could be completely wrong. I don't have a degree in counseling or psychiatric or anything like that, but just my impression, there's some immaturity there.
I don't know. I just don't understand his apprehension if based off of Claire's statements that he's not having any sexual attention.
No, because she's taking care of it.
So however she's doing that, which we still don't have details in that, and I really don't need to have details, but I'm trying to figure out, it's very, like you said, selfish that you get to release your sexual tension and I don't.
Right.
Meaning the way she wants to connect with him.
Right.
Now, maybe she is releasing her sexual tension, but that's not her desire because she's married.
She wants that connection.
She wants the connection with him.
Because she makes the statement, she's like, we do everything else except that. And she makes the statement at the end that I am constantly, every night, he's getting his pleasure. Right. I'm not. Right. So he's got her he keeps making these things like, what have you, and she even asks, or even kind of makes the aside is maybe he's looking for the rose petals and the magical moment.
It can't be, because if you're getting off, then you're not holding out for the magical moment.
That's true.
Now, if you're saying this is just sex, so I don't be frustrated sexually, then how do you have the nerve to judge her that she's only thinking about sex?
Yeah.
Because you're the compartment that you're putting in, how's that totally different from you? Mm-hmm. And if I was Claire and sitting in that room with her, baby doll, whatever you allowing him to get off,
stop.
You need to stop.
Cut it out.
Make it blue as possible. Because if I'm not getting off, he ain't going to get off until we have an understanding that this is not working. This is not connecting. I'm trying to connect to you. Even though in her mind, she's saying, well, this is only sex.
Right.
Emotionally, she's saying, I want to be connected to my husband.
Right.
So she seems more connected to it being more emotional than he is.
Right.
So I think she just need to have just one good get it out for him to come to a conclusion, to think about it, or you find out he's oblivious.
Because, I mean, if you think about it, they're all having conversations with the other couples, right?
Right.
So all the other couples have consummated, including Chris and Paige. So even the couples that have said, you know what, this ain't it, this ain't going to work. So now I imagine in her mind also there is some of this thing of, we have not yet. Mm-hmm. So will we ever, A? Mm-hmm. And two, what does that mean for our relationship?
Right. And I'm sorry. If you're not having the conversation on camera, it needs to be very clear, because he's acting like, because we both give and take. Yeah. We're giving and you're giving. And she's looking at him.
Oblivious with his conversations there.
And she's looking at him like, what were you? And I was like, talk, girl, open your mouth, say something. Yeah. Because I'm looking at it, and I'm even on the film I'm saying that's not true
Yeah.
based off of what you're sharing with the girls,
Right.
or what you share with counseling,
Mm-hmm.
or when you're having one-on-one interviews.
Yep.
I just don't get where you have a deadline. Listen, this is a trial. So I don't understand why these women are putting in so much effort to something that this is trial period. When someone says you can have a trial kit marriage, it expires in 60 days.
Mm-hmm.
That means let me be my best self, but my worst self. Let me ask you every question.
Mm-hmm.
Let's have every argument. This is all my deal breakers.
Right.
And see where we fall.
Right.
Because when it's over, I can get this annulled or whatever. If we consummate or whatever, we can get a divorce.
Well, for them, they could probably technically annul it because.
Oh yeah, they haven't had. She didn't get none.
So we'll see. All right, and then the new villain is revealed or unmasked because
Erik and Virginia.
I've been saying there's problems with this dude. I've said last time that he comes off like he's like trying to take on the daddy role. The full narcissistic, insecure.
Oh my God. I feel like she about to have a nervous breakdown.
Yeah.
If he say one more time, he done.
Yes.
If he says one more time, I'm going to leave.
Mm-hmm.
Get your stuff and leave. She finally did say, if you tell me one more time I can leave, I will punch you. I was like, Erik,
I believe
say
she would have done it too.
The way her eyes look, he was looking like, I think she would punch me. I was like, Erik, say it. I just want you to say it. Because I feel like she about to ball her fists up and punch you in your nose.
Yes.
Because she can't express it to him, like, or at least on camera, saying, I'm sorry, I keep hitting the table. Every time you tell me you're done or we're over or making threats, that's not helping our relationship.
Right.
That's not wanting me to stay.
If you always have a foot out the door,
right,
then what's the point of even there being a door or even you staying? At the end of the day, if you're committed to this, you're committed to it. And if you're always going to give the person the out and tell them that you're done or that you're through or that, maybe this isn't for you or, I know what it takes to be in a marriage. You don't.
Right.
Then at the end of the day, dude, you got problems. And so it starts off because he really starts to threaten to end it over her dog.
Right.
Now, they both have dogs. He's talking about how his dog is so well trained and like his dog is just like, yeah. And her dog is just so out of pocket. Well, her dog's a puppy still, right?
Yeah, it's a year old. And obviously, because it reminds me of our dog right now. We got a dog that's a year old. And he gets very excited. Yeah. And he can be a little mouthy. He wants to put his mouth because he's playing like he's playing with other dogs.
Right.
I'm not a dog.
Right.
So those are things that we decide that we want to work on.
Right.
And we're still trying to navigate his personality and trying to figure it out. So same thing with her. And she's saying, well, this is my dog. I'm going to do what I'm going to do. She says right now the cats are not even at the place.
Right.
And she says, I'm changing. I'm not calling my friends anymore. I feel isolated. I feel smothered. So she's saying these are red flags.
And she calls him controlling.
Yes.
Because he got upset. One of the things that triggered him, and he gets triggered easily. But one of the things that triggered him was, I guess they were out or something, and she was, I think she said at the bar and then in the restroom or something like that for like 30 minutes, 40 minutes. And he's like, no, it's longer than that. And then he's like, no, yeah, it was 30 minutes. So she's like, if you got to know where I am every moment of the day, he's like, well, that's my responsibility. No, it's not.
No.
She's a grown woman.
Right.
You and I talk about where you're going, but I don't have a locator chip on you that tells me where you are every moment of the day.
And if I feel like, if you say, hey, I'm going to go to this place, and I feel like maybe it's been a long time, I'm going to ask you.
Right.
I know the great example, you worked at the credit union. And it's like, I haven't heard from you and you hadn't come home. I'm like, are you okay? And you're like, I can't talk right now, blah, blah, blah. And then find out later you got robbed.
Right.
Well, I know what your behavior is.
Right.
So something seemed off.
Right.
Because I know this is the time you normally call me, blah, blah, blah. And when something that happened, I reached out to you because I was concerned.
Right.
It made me real worried.
Right.
But when you're talking about 30 minutes and I haven't heard from you.
Yeah.
And then she's like, you didn't even text me or anything. If you were really concerned,
right,
then why now is it a problem?
And so he is, I don't know if you are picking up on this, but he's also very manipulative, because if you notice, he often will take the conversation and then put his own, I'm going to just say it, his own being butthurt in there. His own feeling like, I just feel I've gone through so much and I always have bad relationships and it never works out for me. And she's like, are you serious? Are you about to turn this back on you?
It.
And so he is manipulative, insecure, controlling, privileged, obnoxious. If I could get my dictionary, I'd have more words for him.
Based off of what she says, it's red flags to be in an abusive relationship with a controlling spouse.
She even said this, and I'm sorry, but she even said this. She realized that he needs her to need him.
Oh, yeah.
Which is to me, that's a classic sign of someone who is manipulative and narcissistic, is that he finds value in being needed by her and is forcing her to feel that she needs him.
Right. I'm here to support. I'm behind you to support. Yeah. No, I need you beside me because we're going to walk through life because you need some support too.
Yeah.
You don't got it together. Yeah. Even though she needs to come up. It's all about what she needs to do better in. I'm like, dude. So I'm thinking now she drinking because of him.
Yeah, she probably drank before, but she probably has stepped it up a notch.
She probably like,
cause
I'm thinking now I know why.
And he's talking about it's not a big deal about the dog, but he keeps bringing it up.
He keeps saying it. Won't you let me train? But she's saying, I don't like the way he's been handling the dog. I don't like how he's been treating my dog.
And so it is her dog. Yes, she's bringing the dog into the relationship. Absolutely. But if you think about it, she's been okay with how this dog has operated for the year that she's had him, right?
Right.
So now to be like, oh, you want to change my dog, you want to change me, I can't talk to my friends,
good.
You want to change this, you want to change that. So now she's the one who has to do all this changing because he knows what it takes to have a good marriage, even though he's divorced.
Right.
And according to him, the marriage was only because he needed her to live on base with him.
Right.
Because I'm sure he didn't want her being away from him for too long because he's Right.
Oh, yeah, that makes all sense now.
So, yeah. Anything else to say on this?
Nope.
All right, so I think that's it for this episode. Again, let us know in the comments. I think we got all the couples, right?
Yeah, we got Jacob and Haley.
Yeah.
We got
awkward. Claire haven't had sex.
Yep.
Chris and Paige.
Paige is over. So we don't got nothing else.
Briana Vincent still going good. So, by the way, one of our other shows that we review, Ready to Love, is back. So basically make sure that you check out the videos that if you've never watched Ready to Love, watch some of our previous reviews, but also hit the notifications. That way you can watch with us as we go ahead and dig into this season of Ready to Love. All right?
All right.
That's it for this episode, this show. We'll see you next time. Be blessed. Have a great one. We'll talk to you later.
Bye.